What's going on, everybody? I thought I'd come live here with you guys for a little bit, maybe do a little bit of a Q&A to see, just let you guys ask me anything you want. So, apologize, I'm not going to be looking directly at the camera a lot. I'll look directly at the camera as often as possible, but I'll stay live for probably about, as long as people are here. In all honesty, as long as people are here, I'll probably stay live. And as long as you guys are asking me questions, that is. As long as you guys are asking me some questions, I'll probably stay live for, maybe about like an hour, hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer. But I figure, hey, New Year, New Year's Eve, might as well do a Q&A. So what's going on, guys? Hey, so we've got Noel here, Evie, Nick Archer, Ryan, Jack Vlogs, Noel. Oh, shoot, and Matthew McFadden's in here. You already know, people. That's right. Matthew McFadden up in the chat. Who do you want to see? Okay, so first question already coming in. Hello, it's 1 hour away from 2019 here in Sweden. Awesome, Simpan. Awesome. Oh, so if we are live all the way up till New Year's, I will definitely hit the dab. I'll hit the dab for New Year's for you guys. But so first question was, who do you want in January at Manchester United? So first question, for me personally, Pulisic would probably be one of the top picks, in all honesty. I think that he would bring a good attacking prowess to Manchester United, as well as I would like to see Koulibaly brought in. I think that at this point, we do need another experienced center back, somebody that is on that top class level and somebody that is under the age of 29. I don't want somebody to just be here for 3 years and then have to move on from them. I want somebody to be able to be here for like 3-4 years, maybe 5, and then we can move on as they train and get these center backs ready. And then if they get ready quicker, then we can move on from them quicker. That's just my opinion, though. Chloe Brooks, good to see you in here. Then let's see. How much will United spend in January? Under or over 50 million? That's from Wesker for Life. So I'm going to say it will likely be under 50 million. I don't know how much money we will actually spend. Now, if we are going to try and go get Koulibaly, obviously we're probably going to need to spend a little more than 50 million. Probably a lot more, because there is rumors that he's all the way up to a $90 million value. I hope that's not the case, but if that is, then if we're getting a top class, top level center back, I would gladly pay that much, pay somewhere in the 60, 70, $80 million range to get somebody of that ilk and get them in to play center back for us and potentially help out our defense. Let's see here. So Noel asked, wants to ask about Pulisic. He said, "Is Pulisic still living up to the hype? Man United quality is starting lineup." So, to talk about Christian Pulisic a little bit more. So he has basically been a rotation squad player for Dortmund recently. A lot of that comes down to the fact that Jadon Sancho has come onto the scene so hot. And then you also add in the fact that their top player, Marco Reus, plays at his best position, which is at the number 10. And Christian Pulisic actually can play with the ball at both feet. So if you ask my opinion, the best position for him to come in and come play would be at the 10. And if we are looking to move on from Juan Mata in the summertime, which right now he has not signed a new contract. So if we are moving on from him, I do believe that getting Christian Pulisic to come in and be the guy, especially considering the fact that he probably is a marketing dream in the sense of, Manchester United do think about those kind of things. So why not go after somebody that could potentially solve the number 10 position for a good 10 years if he lives up to all the hype? But he really is a good player. He is a very good player. Just read Pulisic isn't getting much game time at Dortmund. Yeah, Nick Archer. Christian Pulisic is not getting much game time at the moment, and like I said, it is down to the fact that Jadon Sancho has come onto the scene so hot, as well as the fact that Marco Reus is doing what he's doing. I mean, Marco Reus is one of the top players in the world, and you can't disrespect somebody that has more experience, basically, which is why I ultimately think that right now in January or in the summertime is the correct time to pounce on the move for Christian Pulisic, because we will be able to get him for less money than we would have. Because if he had gone in the summertime, I guarantee you that the price tag would have been somewhere around 70 million. Can almost guarantee it. But because he has been playing as much this year, I'm willing to bet that you could get him for somewhere in the 50 million range, plus or minus probably 5 to 10 million. So, Ryan Beals asks, Paul Gardner, you already know, baby. So Ryan Beals asks, one player you would sell in January. Ooh, that's a good one. For me, I would sell Phil Jones. I think that everybody else in the squad, I can at least live with them being there until the end of the season. But I personally would sell on Phil Jones and let us move on from him. Bring back Axel Tuanzebe. If you want to bring up Roshan Williams, bring up Roshan Williams. But we need to move on from Phil Jones because you guys know as well as I do, anytime that he's out there, I am nervous as hell. I get so nervous anytime that he's out there. So I think it's time to move on from him, and whoever will be stepping up in that sense. I mean, because this is just basing it on the fact that we don't know if we will be buying anybody. But if we were just to be selling one person, I'd sell Phil Jones. Will United win the league in the next 5 years? So, Wesker, I think that we will win the league in the next 5 years, especially with getting back to playing the football that we should be playing. I think that we will see Manchester United win the league in the next 5 years. I think that ultimately we've got the talent that's already here. We've got good young attacking talent down in the youth ranks, as well as the fact that under a new manager that will bring an attacking system, we will get into the modern day football and we will start doing what Manchester United should be doing. And that's competing for the league, competing for Champions Leagues, winning cups, doing everything that we should be doing at Manchester United. Obviously, a lot of that is going to depend on who we bring in as the new manager. But I ultimately think that it's time to realize that we are better than we're better than what Mourinho made us out to be. We can score goals for fun. Yeah, guess what? We might not have the greatest of defenses, but when you're pressing as high as Manchester United do, there's been times you're going to get hit out on the break, or you might give up a set piece opportunity. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But we push on and we move forward, and I'm excited to see where Manchester United are going to go going into this new year. No, I can't answer that question, bro. I can't. I like your name, so that definitely wasn't the reason why. Let's see here. So we got a couple different people said Fellaini. I like it. So are you concerned regarding the fact that Bailly is getting reckless more often? Is Bailly the best center back partner with Lindelof? So just he took my mini fridge. You're funny, Noah. You're funny. Let's see here. So with Bailly, I ultimately think that with Eric Bailly that we will see him come good with more game time. You have to remember that it basically had been a while since Eric Bailly had gotten a start, and you need game time to improve on your skills. You just do. And I think that the longer Eric Bailly is out on the pitch, and granted, we obviously are going to miss him for the next 3 matches, but I think that ultimately, if we give him a run, and you have to remember that people are talking about, oh, Eric Bailly's reckless, and he's a red card waiting to happen. Well, guess what? Some of our greatest players in our history were red cards waiting to happen. Roy Keane was a red card waiting to happen, for God's sake. Like, a lot of people consider him the greatest midfielder Manchester United have ever had and the greatest captain that Manchester United have ever had. Roy Keane was a red card waiting to happen. You got to admit that. So Eric Bailly just needs to learn to get a sound mind and be able to not go into rash challenges at times. And the only way you can do that is with game time and with more experience. I believe Eric Bailly will be the best center back partnership with Victor Lindelof. But ultimately, if we do bring in somebody else, because with Eric Bailly, I'm basically at the point of, if we bring in somebody else, we bring in somebody else, and I'll live with it. But I would like to see him given more opportunities. That's my personal opinion. Paul Scholes was always a red card waiting to happen. Let's see here. Am I going to have a happy new year? Nick Archer asked. So, Nick Archer, I will have a happy new year. I've got my wife. I've got my dog. We're going to go over and we're going to celebrate with some friends for at least a little bit. But even if we don't, I might just wind up playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey all night. So, I don't think I'm going to have a bad night no matter what. So, it's pretty hard to have a bad New Year's unless you are really, really sick. Then I think ultimately it's a new year, new you. Just go out and have some fun. Like, be safe. Don't get crazy, but go out and go have some fun. Happy New Year to one and all. Reza, thank you very much. I like the sound of Red Bearded Reveals, by the way. Oh, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Playing NFL right now, and I'm literally clueless. Matthew, are you playing Madden right now? Are you playing Madden? Because if you are, I mean, you should have told me. I would have given you a couple pointers. So, so Noel asked, "Would you let Pereira leave this January? Should we loan him to Premier League club and add buyback clause in case of a transfer?" So Noel, I basically think you're asking, should we sell Andres Pereira in January? And for me, I would like to see Paul Scholes. I'm sorry, guys. I read Paul Scholes literally right before coming back up for it. But I would love to see what Ollie's going to do with Andres Pereira. And I think that Andres will be willing to stay, knowing that he will be getting more chances. I mean, he's already gotten 2 sub appearances under Ollie. Like, that's more than it's almost more than he's gotten his entire time under Mourinho. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure if he gets 2 more appearances, he'll have more appearances under Ollie than he will have in his entire tenure under Mourinho. So I would love to see Andres Pereira get a chance. And I think that Andres Pereira can still be a quality player. But once again, it's a matter of game time. And ultimately, if Andres feels the need to leave, I'll wish him the best, because I think that ultimately it was a miss on him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Andres. Do you think that the Munich disaster, do you think if the Munich disaster never happened, United would have more European Cups than Real Madrid? Wesker, that is a great question, and ultimately, I don't know. Because we'll never know if all those young players that were playing during that time with Matt Busby would have lived up to everything they were supposed to be. Obviously we knew that they were great players. I mean, with Duncan Edwards leading it all, but ultimately we'll never know, which is sad. But there is obviously the possibility, though. There is obviously the possibility that if we had never had that happen, we may have never. We may be leading in in that, Um, oh, I'm sorry, Jack. So best player of the year. Jack? Are you talking about overall player, like in world football, or are you just talking for Manchester United? I'll wait for a little bit of clarification on that. Um, would you sell Lukaku, Rashford up front, and Greenwood as backup? Reza, yes, I would. I would sell Lukaku. I would give him one more game and see if he can't get another goal. So maybe to get his stock a little bit back up, a little bit more back up, but sell him to Italy like he was wanting. There is rumors that Juventus want him, and if he wants to go to Juventus, let him go. Because I think that in Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood, we've got two great number 9s ready in the wings for us. And especially with Mason Greenwood, I think that Mason Greenwood actually has the potential to be better than Marcus Rashford. That's my personal opinion, and we'll never know until Mason Greenwood gets time. But I think that Mason Greenwood could be better than Marcus Rashford. I heard Mauro Icardi was so Nick. I actually heard that Icardi wants to go to Real Madrid. Which with transfers, guys, I'm pretty much gonna always. I might talk about transfer rumors, but at the end of the day, transfer rumors are just that. They're just rumors, and until you get actual clarification on if it's actually going to happen from the club, like until I get clarification from the club and they're saying, hey, this transfer has been completed, I'm never going to believe a transfer rumor because let's be honest, we all thought Ivan Perisic was going to happen. It didn't happen. We all thought that Harry Maguire was probably going to happen, or at least a center back in this last transfer window was going to happen. Didn't happen. So until it is like pen to paper and we see the guy holding up the kit, I'm probably never going to believe a transfer rumor because they're just that. They're rumors. Madden 18 free on EA Access. Oh, that's cool, Matthew. Yeah, Madden is a fun game. It's just it can be a bitch at times. One tip: don't bother with Madden. Mystery exclusive. You knock it off over there. Let Matthew play his games. If you could only keep one, who would you keep in Marcus Rashford or Anthony Martial? Jesus, Ryan. It's a tough question. Ultimately, I would keep Anthony Martial, and here's the reason why. It's not that I don't think that both aren't supremely talented, but what it is that I believe that the overall potential for Anthony Martial is greater than that of Anthony Martial. Than Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is a great talent. And yes, he does come through the youth system. But Anthony Martial, for me, has a different class of just finishing. He's got better handles of the ball. He's got this about equal pace, if not, greater when he gets on straight line pace. And like I said, his handles are just amazing. Now, I know that we all saw what Marcus Rashford can do, and I don't ever want to have to make this decision of do we have to choose between Marcus Rashford or Anthony Martial. But if you're forcing me to choose, I will choose Anthony Martial. Let's see here. Real Madrid not interested in Icardi though, but yes, he was interested in Madrid. That might be interesting if Real Madrid aren't interested, but Icardi is, because they do tend to have that. Let's see here. So Jack, you asked about who has been the best player for Manchester United in 2018. I would probably say overall it has been Paul Pogba. Now, he's had ups and he's had downs, but when you think of what he did back all the way to Manchester City, and he definitely had some good games, in the process of that. But ultimately, it's really hard to choose just now. Granted, if you're talking about just overall players, like it's got to be David De Gea, because David De Gea had an amazing, first half of 2018. Now, while he hasn't had the greatest of second halves of 2018, he still is going to be probably the best overall player. But if you're talking about an outfield player, Paul Pogba probably is the choice, because there's been nobody that's been involved as many goals as he has. So I'll choose Paul Pogba as the best outfield player that Manchester United had in all of 2018. Doug, you asked how will I be spending my New Year's? So we are likely going to go over to some friend's house. And then from there, we will either choose whether to stay. And then if people are getting too crazy, because obviously Melissa is pregnant. And with that, for me, I'm not going to let my wife be like having to deal with drunk people. And I don't really drink anyways. So why hang around when people are just going to be crazy? But we are going to go over to some friend's house, and then maybe we'll just come back to the house a little early and we'll celebrate here. But we'll see. Doug, I did see that Samir did sign with West Ham. That popped up on my phone today. What's going on, FS Animation? Happy New Year to you. And Vince Russo, by the way, I love the reference. I can't believe that it's 2018 either. Like that's kind of crazy when you think about it. Let's see here. Whom would you prefer as a new center back? Toby for $25 million this January, or spending $90 million for Koulibaly? Noel, for me personally, I would prefer to spend the extra money and go get Koulibaly. I think that at this stage in Toby Alderweireld's career, it's nothing against him. He's had a great career, but I don't want to be bringing in a 29, close to 30-year-old that ultimately is only going to be here for a couple of years, and he's already been injury-prone and on the downhill. So I will bring in Koulibaly, somebody that is still at the top of his game, somebody that is still in his prime and can potentially educate our center backs that we do have and make them better. Now I know that for some people, spending more money when you got a guy that is a top level or has been a top level center back like Toby Alderweireld might be a little bit controversial, but for me, I think Koulibaly is the better of the two anyways, and I think the Koulibaly will add something extra to Manchester United. Let's see here. De Gea is 2018 best player for Nick Archer. Reza Sunday said Martial. AFAF said Real Madrid are a crap team now. Barcelona are past it. Finally, the era is about to finish. Well, I mean, AFAF, I think that ultimately we will see what is going to happen in this new stages, because I think that we're going to see Real Madrid spend crazy money in this summer. And then I think that we might see Barcelona spend some crazy money in the summer. We'll see. We will see. But I think that we have the potential to see a huge shakeup at some of the top clubs in the world, including Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. You look across all the teams that have historically been at the top, and I think that we are not far off from seeing those teams have some pretty big shakeups happen. So that's my opinion. That's just my opinion. Let's see here. So Scott McGonaughy got Young Player of the Year award under Mourinho. Yes, he did, Nick. Yes, he did. Noel asked if I'm planning to come to Manchester anytime soon. So I was just literally talking with Matthew McFadden, Craig, and Shane about this. But my plan is that September, I want to try in September of next year to make it to Manchester. Now, a lot of that's going to depend on what's going on at home. We'll obviously have a brand new baby. Our baby is due in June, so it will still be very fresh, and there's no guarantees that I'll be able to make it. But as long as everything goes well, I will be trying to make the trip out in September. I'm going to try and be there for a week, and Matthew and I are going to go travel up and down and go see Manchester United a couple times, maybe 3 times during that period. That's at least the hope. That is the hope. Back on to Fortnite for Matthew. Jose Virus will take in your soul. No wonder Dave couldn't save. I don't know. Worst moment of the year, Jack Vlogs asked. So I would say the worst moment of the year was probably losing to Sevilla. A lot of us thought that we were going to put a pretty good beating to Sevilla. Sevilla weren't really that good last year, and we really had no excuses for not beating them. But the fact of what the game plan was in those 2 matches, we sat back so far that it made it so it was going to be almost impossible to be able to just do anything. And I hope that we in 2019 will have almost no bad memories to talk about. Because, let's be real. We had quite a few that we could have talked about. We could have talked about Sevilla. We could have talked about West Ham. We could have talked about the fact that we literally almost couldn't beat anybody that got promoted last year. They were always tough games. There was a lot of bad moments in 2018. But 2019, I have fresh perspective and fresh positivity. And I think that in 2019, we will see a lot of good things happen for Manchester United. I really do. Vince Russo, I remember my WCW days. Everybody remembers your WCW days, Vince. Everybody does. Raise the 76 Koulibaly. We'll talk about the transfers. Koulibaly, we're rich. Let's see here. So Noel said, "Do you see Manchester City?" Asked if I see Manchester City defeating Liverpool in their upcoming fixture. For the love of God, Manchester City, I hope that you do. I don't think that I will handle it very well if Liverpool do manage to win the league. I know that I hate Manchester City too, but ultimately they are the lesser of 2 evils, and my ultimate hope is that Liverpool all of a sudden just start dropping points rapidly. Manchester United went out the rest of the season. Manchester City lose a few more games. Tottenham lose a few more games. And Manchester United become your 2018-2019 season Premier League winners. That's the hope. That's the real hope, people. Let's hope we get another league title. Vince Russo said, no offense to Alderweireld or Koulibaly, but I'd go with Maguire. He's Premier League proven, cheaper than Koulibaly. He'd fix our set piece problems, and he's British. So, Vince, I actually, and you can check my tweets, I did want Harry Maguire and his, what are we up to now, 128-inch forehead for a TV? A TV for a forehead? I said forehead for a TV. TV for a forehead, 128-inch TV for a forehead. I really hope that we get Harry Maguire. Still, I think that he could be a good solution at center back. Personally, I like the way that he gets forward with the ball, as well as the fact that, like you said, he does offer good things on set pieces. Now, ultimately, Koulibaly does offer a little bit more in terms of defensive responsibilities than Maguire does. That's my personal opinion. But if I had to choose between Koulibaly and Harry Maguire, the price tag is going to be a little bit lower on Maguire. Maguire is a little bit younger. And like you said, he would help with the British player quota that has to be met for the Premier League. So for me, I think that I personally would choose Harry Maguire. Now, that's my personal opinion. It doesn't mean that I'm right. I think that Koulibaly is a fantastic center back. Like you guys have heard me talk about him on here already. But if I had to choose between the two, I would personally choose Harry Maguire. Lee Grant is player of the year. Mr. Scusovax, if we have Bai, Lindelof, Jones, Smalling, Rojo, Fosu-Mensah, Tuanzebe, Darmian Shaw, Valencia, Young, all these defenders plus under 18s and under 23s, do we need more? Yes, because ultimately, I don't want Phil Jones. I know you're saying that if we had them, I don't want Phil Jones ever playing a match. I want Chris Smalling being a center back at best. And ultimately, we may need to be finding a new option if Eric Bailly can't start learning the position a little bit better. Because I do think that Eric Bailly has all the attributes to be a top-class center back. And we saw that in his first season at Manchester United. However, we do need to think about the possibility that maybe he was a one-season wonder, and we might need to be moving on from him soon. There is that possibility. I hope not. I'm going to root for Eric Bailly to be our future center back because I like the guy. He seems like he's a funny guy. It seems like he loves the game. But ultimately, that doesn't mean that you're going to be a great player because I love the game. I think that I'm kind of funny. I mean, I'm not really super funny, but I'm kind of funny. And ultimately, I'm not going to be playing football anytime soon, at least not professionally. So, so Paul Gardner asks, "What's my baby's due date?" My little girl was born on the 6th, and she'll be 3 in June or next June. So that's really funny, Paul. So our due date is in terms of estimations supposed to be June 7th. So. Just so you guys know too, so we are actually going to be finding out the gender of the baby on Sunday, this coming Sunday. We are going to be doing our ultrasound and we're going to have it written down in an envelope. And then from there, we're going to have a party. We're going to have not a party. We're going to have a celebration. So when I know, you guys will know. Yes, Reza, obviously it's got to be Manchester United. That's who the baby's going to support. Worst moment of 2018 is Rui Faria leaving. I mean, Vince Russo for Mourinho, it definitely was. Completely agree with that. AFAF asked a good question. What's my wish for the next year? My only wish and my only hope for this next year is for my wife and my baby to have a very happy and healthy pregnancy, and that when the baby is born, that the baby will be happy, healthy, and that everything from there will just go swimmingly. Besides that, I have literally zero wishes for 2019. I mean, obviously, I want to go to Manchester, but you're asking if I have one wish. I just want my wife and my baby to be completely healthy. That's all I care about. So, where are MUFC going to end up in three competitions they are left in? Nick, I'm making a bold prediction. I'm saying Manchester United are going to get top 4. I think that we will put up a battle against PSG, but I think that we will likely lose to PSG. At least if we don't add a center back. I think that if we do add a center back, then I don't know what will happen in that matchup, especially if it's a top-level center back like Koulibaly or like a Harry Maguire. I think that we add one of those two, and you could see something different. But ultimately, I think that we will probably get knocked out by PSG. It's just too soon for, that level of competition. Now, obviously, I hope we get past them. And then for the FA Cup, I think that we could have a relatively deep run in the FA Cup and possibly win the FA Cup. I'll say that we'll go to the semifinals of the FA Cup. Now, obviously, I want to go further and I want to win it. I'm always going to want to win every single competition that's in existence, but ultimately, realistically, I think top 4, getting close to the FA Cup and putting up a battle against PSG will be good. And I think that ultimately might keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a job too, which that would be amazing. Let's see here. Andrew's 4 a.m. here in India. It was a pleasure getting you. Noel, thank you very much for joining us, man. I hope that you had a good New Year's and, just keep doing you, man. Keep doing you. We mentioned it twice now. Forehead is growing. I'm sorry. Yes, now so it's up to 130-inch flat screen TV of a forehead. Harry Maguire, why is your forehead growing so much? Two great bearded men think alike. Yes, they do, Vince Russo. Raise a Sunday. Maguire has a 5 head, not a 4 head. Sign him up. Yes, very, very true. Let's see here. I think United need 4 players, a true striker, 30 goals a season type, right winger, proper CDM, and a center back who's a leader. Do I agree? So Wesker for life. I actually think that we might have the solution at center forward already between Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood. Then ultimately, I do think that we do need a right winger. Now, obviously, I hope that Alexis Sanchez works out, but if he doesn't, sell him on and let him move on in his career. Go to a little bit slower of a league, and I bet you that he'll probably thrive. And so if we need to get a right winger, we got to do it. Then a CDM, I do agree with. I like what Matic has been doing, but ultimately Matic is 30, and we're not going to be far off from needing to move on from him. Now, there is also the possibility that Timothy Fosu-Mensah, when he comes back, then maybe the new manager will be like, hey, you know what? We want you back at CDM, which is, let's be real, where we all thought that he would be best. And, maybe that's our solution at CDM for the future. And then as for a center back, yes, we do need a center back. I never denied that we didn't need a center back. I just think that ultimately we didn't need a 29-year-old, 30-year-old center back coming in. We didn't need a Boateng coming in. We didn't need an Alderweireld coming in. We need somebody that's a little bit younger, somebody that can have at least a 5-year career at Manchester United and then move on from there. That's just my opinion, though. Will you root for Pulisic if he ends up at another big Premier League club? Nick, the only way I would not root for Christian Pulisic is if he wound up going to Liverpool. If he went to Liverpool or Manchester City, I'll put that one in there too. If he went to either one of those, I wouldn't be rooting for him. Now, obviously, when he would come back to USA, I'd be rooting for him hardcore. But ultimately, for me, I won't root for a guy if he goes to one of our two actual rivals. And then at the same time, if he goes to the likes of Chelsea, or if he goes to the likes of Tottenham or Arsenal, my ultimate hope is he comes to us, obviously. If he comes to us, I'm going to get all the Christian Pulisic jerseys. I'm going to get all of them. It doesn't matter what the kit is, I will get it. I'm obviously joking a little bit there. Don't want to get all the same player. But ultimately, I do hope that Christian Pulisic comes to Manchester United. But if he goes to somebody else and they can help in his development for Team USA, because Team USA, I believe we are not far off from being a good team. If they can help in his development, that's what matters the most. And my hope is that Manchester United will be that place that he can develop his career and become one of the top number 10s in the world. I'm going to be super positive and say United will win the Champions League if Paul dominates the midfield and we attack their weak defense. Then we get inconsistent Madrid. Honestly, Vince, it's very possible that we could wind up with some lower competition. If we manage to get PSG, I think that there's the possibility that we could wind up against somebody that might be a little bit easier. And then you talk about once you get to the semifinals, anything can happen. Literally anything can happen, because at that point, Ollie will have had a lot of time with the team. And I'll tell you this, I think the teams are officially fearing Manchester United again. I don't think that they're I think that we have the players in place in the attacking sense that I don't think that anybody's going to want to go up against our attack. Yeah, we should just bring in the entire NWO, Dan. And so Vince Russo asked if you could would I sell Lukaku and get a Cardi or the striker you want, or would you sell Lukaku and stay with Rashford? Ooh, that's a tough one, Vince. Ultimately, what my hope is that Marcus Rashford continues to do what he's been doing and makes it so we don't even have to worry about that kind of question, because I would love for Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood to wind up being the future of the striker position for Manchester United. It'd be amazing to have two youth products be those guys. Ultimately, right now, if you were to say, hey, guess what? January, we've got the chance to get Mario Icardi, and but in order to do that, we have to sell on Lukaku. Obviously, he's going to be the number one striker. For me, I would probably do it at this moment. But if you were talking about in the summertime, I would say let's wait and see what happens, because it wouldn't be a very easy question to answer, because I think Marcus Rashford is doing everything that a Manchester United striker needs to do at the moment, doing everything he needs to do. And so my hope is that he continues in his development, and that maybe we'll wind up seeing Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood being the future of that position for us. I agree with Mark about Fosu-Mensah. He should be playing all the time on loan, and for some reason he's not. I don't think he'll make it. I mean, Wesker, you might be right. I hope that Timbo makes it. I really like Timothy Fosu-Mensah, and he looked like he might have been the future at CDM for us. But I just think that at this point right now, it might not work for him at Manchester United. Just might not. But you never know. You don't know. I'm Nexi said at center back, I would love to see Skriniar join Manchester United. So Nexi, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I've heard nothing, but I personally haven't seen a lot from Skriniar, but I do know that he has a very high reputation. And for me, I wouldn't mind seeing somebody like that come in. Vince Russo, you asked who's PSG's manager. It's Thomas Tuchel. And Tuchel did almost get Dortmund relegated. Yes, he did. Now, they did not get relegated, but it was close. Bring DDP to do some yoga and the players and raise their fitness. I mean, that would be funny. I mean, I actually, if anybody in the chat has done DDP yoga, let me know, because I genuinely have been thinking about ordering that program and doing it. I've heard nothing but amazing things. So I'd love to know if that is true. Wesker, I have heard that Pulisic to Chelsea, it does seem to be confirmed, but at the same time, there's been no official announcement, and we all it seemed we had confirmed reports that Perisic was going to Manchester United. We had confirmed reports, basically, but it wound up not happening. So until pen to paper, guys holding up the kit, I will not believe that anybody is going anywhere. Just the rumor mill just doesn't work for me like that. Don't know why people are so worried about PSG. Yeah, their attack is great. Their defense is poor, and we're similar. So, Wesker, the only reason why I'm a little bit nervous is because of how deadly and lethal the attack of PSG is. I know that our defense is struggling, but you know what? Like I said, if we could bring in another top-class center back in January, I'm not going to rule out Manchester United to beat PSG. And if we can get past PSG, I think that we could get past the next level too and get to the semifinals. And then from there, it'd just be really, really interesting to see what happens. Let's see here. Any injury update on Rashford? So Nick Archer, I have not seen anything. Now, that I do think that from what I've seen, at least from what I've heard, It just seemed like he probably came off with like a little bit of like just a, okay, I'm just kind of done for the day. My groin is just hurting a little bit. That's all I've heard though. Vince, honestly, we'll see. We'll see if the press that Manchester United will bring will be able to make it so that we will stifle everything PSG will be doing. We'll see. I just because at the moment with what the squad is, I don't want to get my expectations up here. I'd prefer to keep them a little bit lower and just be like, hey, you know what? If we put up a good matchup against PSG, that's all that matters. If we put up a good game against PSG, if we put up a good 2 games against them, I'll be happy with the way that Manchester United performed. Now, I want Manchester United to go out there and go win the whole thing. Because if we win Champions League, I can all but guarantee that Ollie is going to be the next Manchester United manager full time. And if he did that, just talk about the story that would be. That would be absolutely phenomenal. So, Jack, my only plan for the new year is that I'm going to be going to a friend's house. They're putting on a little bit of a party. It is raining here, surprisingly enough. It's cold and raining. Go figure. So that's literally my only plan. Yeah, Dan, I've only heard great things about it as well. Let's see here. Mark Curtis says, since Varane wants to stay at Real, Koulibaly is going to be a beast. Oh, and United are 40-1 to win the Champions League, worth a fiver. Yeah, honestly, if anybody puts on a bet for me, I'll pay you back if we wind up winning. And I'll pay you a little bit extra too. If anybody wants to put down a 10-pound bet for me, no, I'm just kidding. I legally can't gamble here in this state, and I don't want to get in any trouble, guys. So. Yikes! I said that live on YouTube. Shh! It didn't happen. It didn't actually happen. Jones Smalling versus Neymar and Mbappe. Yeah, Jack, that's what ultimately has got me worried. But I think that we will see Victor Lindelof starting in that matchup. And then my hope is that maybe we'll get Eric Bailly back by that time, and he'll be out there killing it. But if we don't, I hope we buy somebody so that way we can have another top level center back. That'd be awesome. Kevin Nash said he could put a bet on for you. I like that, Vince. No, Neymar isn't overrated. Yes, he's annoying to watch because of his diving, but he's an unbelievable football. Jack, listen, only reason why I don't like Neymar, it's got nothing to do with his footballing talent. Obviously, he's one of the top footballers in the world, but just when you have that lack of a moral character that you literally dive if I went like that to you, just bobblehead, just like little tap right there. Like he would go down like a sack of potatoes, and I don't have respect for that. I just don't. I would love us to sign Verratti or Julian Drexler from off PSG. We'll get to see how they play against us. Wait, so Dan, Ollie's press conference ahead of Newcastle has just been uploaded on the United account, and apparently Alexis will play, but not sure if he's starting or off the bench. Dan, that would be awesome. Like I said in the post match with Matthew yesterday, I really hope that Alexis Sanchez can come back and be the Alexis Sanchez that he was at Arsenal and just absolutely go out there and kill it. Because that would solve our right wing problem for at least a couple more years. And it would also allow Tahith Chong to come through the ranks and potentially start playing in that spot and learn from somebody that is and has been one of the best in the world at that position, in Alexis Sanchez. That's my hope. And Nick Archer, just if we could sign Verratti right now, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. I think Verratti, you drop him into that either you could drop him into the CDM or as the second midfielder, and Jesus, like what a midfield we would have. Like I think that if you had Verratti, Herrera, and Pogba as a midfield trio, how are you going to stop that midfield? I don't think that you can. That would just be phenomenal. I want to see that Do it, Manchester United. Bring in Verratti. Bring him in, and let's just roll with it. Because then at that point, we've got the midfield and attack. We've got everything all that we'll ever need. Forget the defense. They'll never get past that line right there of 6 people. They'll never get past them. A little cold and rainy here as well. Yeah, Ryan, I don't do well in the cold. I don't. What's poor in the league, so I said in the world of light of World Cups. Who's better, Keane or Scholes? I think Scholes is more technically gifted. So, Wesker, while I think that if I remember correctly, in fact, no, it is. So, when I did my top 5 in another Q&A, I had Roy Keane as my number 2 overall player. But if you were to ask me who is the better midfielder, I would say it's Paul Scholes. The reason why I put Roy Keane at number 2 in terms of my greatest overall players for Manchester United for me is because I believe that Roy Keane is the best leader that Manchester United have ever had. So that doesn't mean that necessarily, he was obviously a world-class midfielder, but I think that Paul Scholes was just that little bit better, just barely better. And I think that Paul Scholes is you guys know it. Paul Scholes did amazing, amazing things for the club. And just, I can't think of very many midfielders that I would take in the world ever ahead of Paul Scholes, in terms of just their overall ability. I genuinely can't. Third best player in the world. Ooh, that's an interesting question, Jack. I'm going to say that the third best player in the world currently is Kylian Mbappe. I know that might be controversial considering the fact that Neymar is in that same team, but I think that Kylian Mbappe at 19 years old is just he's doing things that are on the levels of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. You guys know it. So I personally feel that Kylian Mbappe is the third best player in the world currently. And let me tell you what, if he keeps going on the levels that he's going, he might be the number 1 player in the world within the next 2 years, especially if it winds up that Ronaldo leaves and goes to play either in MLS or just retires. I think that there is the possibility that could happen. So, Mark, just so you know, it's only an Arizona law that we cannot gamble here legally because we've got the native tribes that are here, the Native American tribes that are here, and they have casinos, so we can't legally gamble online. Now, we can go to casinos and gamble, but we cannot do that from online or anything like that. And our casinos here do not have sports betting. So, is what it is. Let's see here. Got to scroll back up, guys. Paul Gardner said, regardless of who the manager is next season, what do you think the expectation should be? League, Europa, domestic, or League, Europe, domestic cups, based on the assumption that a new center back and maybe another player arrive. So, Paul, my expectation for next season is that we will compete for the league. I believe that we will do well in the Champions League. I believe we'll wind up in the quarterfinals, if not the semis. And then I also think that once again with the cups, we'll be right around there. We'll be right around being in contention for them. Especially the FA Cup. I think that the FA Cup is the one that we'll always try and prioritize. So we'll see. We will see, because I think that a lot of it will depend on I'll say this. If Manchester United are stupid enough to hire another defensive, pragmatic manager, I'm going to have no faith that we're going to win another trophy for the next 10 years. I just won't. But if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is put in charge, if Pochettino is put in charge, if somebody that's got an attacking mindset is put in charge, I will gladly say that we will compete across all competitions and compete well. Potentially, we could potentially win the league next year if our manager can get the best out of everybody. I honestly believe that. Jack asked Messi, Ronaldo all day long. Ronaldo's done it across multiple leagues, and I think that ultimately, if Messi had gone elsewhere, we might be having a different conversation. But because Ronaldo has done it everywhere, I'll take Ronaldo. Man, Messi and Ronaldo are finally declining. Yeah, I know, Vince. It is sad to see. He's reached heights Neymar hasn't. It's Sir Alex Ferguson's birthday today. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I might as well just say it. Happy birthday, Sir Alex Ferguson. I know you're never going to see this video, but happy birthday, Sir Alex. And I do genuinely hope that you had a great birthday. And it is happy to see you back at Old Trafford and smiling at the football that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is putting on out there for you. Great to see it. Yeah, Jim Shady. I love Herrera. I personally, for me, I think that Herrera might be the guy that unlocks everything for Paul Pogba to be able to get forward and do what he does, even more so than Matic. And that's why I think that ultimately, if we put Verratti in at the CDM, if we were to bring him in and put Herrera there, you got all the pace, power, and technical ability to just have the best midfield in the world. So Vince Russo is asking what this championship is. So this is the Stone Cold Steve Austin heavyweight championship smoking skulls belt. Verratti or Isco? Heard we've held talks with Isco's dad. For Dan Jones, for me personally, I would choose Verratti. I think that I think he does better in his defensive responsibilities. And for me, now that Mourinho's gone, I've got faith that we don't need to sign anybody that is tall or anything like that. I think that we're just going to sign the best people that are for their positions. So I personally, if I had my choice of bringing in the CDM I want, bring in N'Golo Kante. Just do it. Just do it. I would love to see Kante here alongside Paul Pogba and whoever else is going to be in that midfield. And just, the things that would happen, man. Ooh, that's a good question, Jack. So Jack asked who's the best midfielder ever. You know what? I'm going to be biased. Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes, greatest midfielder ever. Nobody's better than him. I'm just being biased. I'm going Paul Scholes. Deal with it. Deal with it. Mbappe for me is third best. So Matthew, I'm actually I'm scrolling back down through the chat right now. Sorry about that. Let's see here. I'd say De Gea is the best third player in the world. He is consistently consistent. Mbappe doesn't yet. So actually, let me ask you that. Let me ask you guys that because I've seen a couple people answering it. So who is your third best player in the world? Drop it in the chat and let's talk about it. I think that'd be an interesting topic because I'm seeing I've seen one person say De Gea. I've seen another say Salah. I've seen I am Nexi say Salah. I'd go with Mbappe too from Jim Shady. So Vince Russo, Americans, I think that they did invent online gambling technically, but there's weird laws in Arizona where we can't gamble online because of the Native American casinos that are here. I don't know how the laws work, and I also know that federally online gambling has been legalized, and so it's only a matter of time before I can gamble here legally in online. But it hasn't happened yet. Should we bring back Memphis? No, Jack. No, we should not bring back Memphis Depay. I'm just going to give you a simple answer on that one. Agree with Jared about not giving Pogba the captaincy, not because he doesn't deserve it. I believe he does, but that it allows him to not worry about it and just concentrate on playing the game. I mean, that's interesting. I think that ultimately, for me, I would give Pogba the captaincy because he already is the leader of the squad. Already is. So, I mean, let's be real. If you're already the leader, you give him the captaincy. But at the same time, you don't necessarily need the captain's armband to be a leader. What's wrong with you, Andrew? Lee Grant is number one. I mean, I know. Let's see here. Jim said goals under Ollie contributed for are 32.5% of our total goals all season in 3 games. Oh, dude, Jim, we were talking about that on the show yesterday because I knew it was up to 30%. I didn't know it was up to 32% at this point. That's absolutely insane. Mark, I did forget that it was Steve Bruce's birthday. Thank you for reminding me, and happy birthday, Steve Bruce, as well. I've just watched Juve Ronaldo. He's not as clinical and fast. Messi have become. Oh, you guys are talking about that. Did you see the other Glazer team, the Tampa Bay Bucks, just fired their coach too, Nick Archer? So there was this is called Black Monday for the NFL because there's a lot of teams that are firing their head coaches. So I know for the fact the Bengals fired their head coach. I know for a fact that Tampa fired their head coach. The Arizona Cardinals fired their head coach. Who else fired their head coach? There's been like 4 or 5 teams that have all fired their head coach today. The Dolphins fired their head coach. I can't remember who. Oh, and the New York Jets also fired their head coach. So it's been a big day. I'd bring in Verratti and Ndidi. Imagine a midfield trio of Ndidi, Verratti, and Pogba. Yikes! That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Wactus Cactus Gaming said, no, I am not. And guys, just, if I'm going to miss your questions, I'm just going to let the chat scroll at this point now. So I might have missed a little bit of questions in here, but I just want to thank you guys, everybody that's in here and contributing. I really do appreciate it. Here, over the last 3 games, it can't be argued. I agree. I agree with you on Mbappe in terms of attackers, but couldn't you see Pogba winning a Ballon d'Or at this rate? Let me tell you what: if Paul Pogba keeps going at the rate he's going, he might win the Ballon d'Or in half a season. It's not going to happen. He's obviously not going to continue scoring 2 goals a game and getting 2 assists, 3 assists a game. Like it's not going to happen. But if it did, he might win the Ballon d'Or in half a season. That'd be crazy. Absolutely crazy. I know Jim Shady. Conte had that $30 million release clause. Do you think Tuanzebe is ready to come back and fight for his place in the center of the defense? Paul Gardner, yes. Yes, I do. I believe Axel Tuanzebe could actually be the answer at center back for us for the future. I believe he could be here for the next 10 years and do his thing. I look at the talent. He's got all the talent that a center back needs to have. He's got the size, the strength. He's got the on the ball ability. He's got it all. He's got it all. And he just needs game time at Manchester United. And I really hope that he's given that because I like Axel Tuanzebe. I really like him a lot. Let's see here. Yeah, Vince, everybody in the squad does respect Pogba as well. Yeah, Dan, you guys still do have Riverboat Ron. You do. I'm sorry. Will any United player win the Ballon d'Or in the next 5 years? Wesker, I believe it's possible. I believe that it is possible that a United player could win the Ballon d'Or in the next 5 years, especially bringing back attacking football to Old Trafford. I believe that it's possible. I mean, let's be real here. I don't think... No, you know what? I'm not going to be that controversial. No, don't want to be that controversial. No, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm not going to do it. Memphis had a better season than Mbappe, Neymar, Cavani, and Fekir in the same league last season. I mean, Jim Shady, listen, it's just my opinion that I think that bringing back Memphis would ultimately just be it'd be putting him at a bigger risk for failure because, I mean, if he did start having a bad run, I mean, people are going to be wondering why we ever brought him back. And I think that ultimately bringing him back would just be it would not be a good thing for him personally. Do you have faith the board will hire the right manager this time around? Paul, yes, I do. Paul Gardner, another fantastic question. I believe that the board will hire the next manager this time around. I believe that they have learned from the error of their ways in hiring 3 defensive managers back to back to back. I also think that they will require whoever the next manager is to keep Mike Phelan. And then my hope is, like, this is genuinely what my hope is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer continues to do what he's doing, that we manage to get top 4, have a decent Champions League run, have a good FA Cup run, and that Ollie's given the job at the end of the year, because I'm loving seeing what Ollie is doing. I love the way that he talks about the club. You can see that the guy loves Manchester United. And to me, that's about all you can ask for. If you're playing the right football and you love the club, I'm going to have a hard time telling you don't deserve the job. Yeah, you guys are on 50 minutes away from New Year's in the UK. That is true. Do you agree there aren't as many good right backs, box-to-box CDMs, and strikers in the world right now? And do you think it's because teams spend money instead of promoting youth? Vince, that's an interesting question. Yes, I do agree with you there, because I'm thinking about it, like, just that quick little thought, and I'm trying to think of, like, good young right backs, good young CDMs, and good young strikers. And, like, the only young striker I can think of at the moment is Mbappe, and he's playing on the right wing right now. I genuinely can't think of a good young CDM. And when I say young, I'm thinking of somebody 21 years of age or younger. And then with right back, definitely can't think of that. I mean, Delo is the only one that's possible, but at the same time, you could tell he still needs more development. So I think that right now in this day and age, it's a win first mentality, win at all costs mentality. And I think that there's no problem with having that mentality. But if you are promoting youth and giving them a chance to develop their talents, you also have the potential to have a squad built in that could be world class if all of them live up to potential. I mean, you look at Mason Greenwood as a key example of that. Same with the Heath Chong and Angel Gomez. I mean, we've got world class talent, and you give them a chance to go out there and do what they're doing. And I think that we're not that far off from seeing the next generation needing to start coming through. I think that we're not far off, because all these top class strikers are getting older. All of these top class right backs are getting older, and it's the same thing with all of the top class CDMs. They're all getting older. So it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen here come the next 5 years. George said, New Year's resolution for me, continue to be perfect. Apparently we have a lot of buyback at 35 million. It's a lot for a player of that. It's a lot of player for that money. I mean, Jim, at the very least, if we were to bring him back, we could sell him right on. Like, let's say just we didn't even keep him, just brought him back and then sold him on for 60 million, because you could probably do that at this point. I would do that just to make the money. Just my opinion, though. I mean, so you guys are mentioning a few different players like Frankie De Jong. Yeah, Mark, I did see that he did mention that he'll see Pogba soon. That is interesting. Wan-Bissaka or Chilwell at right back for me with Delo. Yeah, I mean there is some young talent, but it's like right now there's nothing that's like guaranteed. And just so you guys know, I mean, the only 2 leagues that we get with any regularity here, at least in Arizona, are the Premier League, and I literally am able to get every single Premier League match of every week. And then I get Bundesliga. But we actually don't get a lot of Bundesliga matches live. So I really like watching the sport, but I love football, but we don't get a lot of chance to watch like Italian league. We don't get a lot of chance to watch the Spanish league. We don't get a lot of chances to watch the French league. We just don't. I know that you guys actually do have a lot of chances over in the UK to watch different leagues, but we don't have a lot of chances in Arizona, at least. So Paul Gardner said, if Ollie is given the job on a permanent basis, we need to lower expectations for his first season at least. He doesn't have experience at this level in big games. We cannot expect miracles from him. Doesn't mean I would be against it though. Yeah, no, Paul, I get what you're saying there. So I'm somebody that whoever this next manager is, if they are bringing attacking football, so like if it was a Pochettino, if it was Ollie, whoever it is, if they are an attacking manager, I will give them 5 seasons. 5 seasons to turn everything around at Manchester United and get us back to constantly competing at the top level. If we bring in another defensive pragmatic manager, they have 2 seasons. 2 seasons to turn everything around and get the team to be defensively sound and then nicking 1-0, 2-0 wins. That's for me. But I believe that football, you're supposed to be entertained. And if we're not going to be getting entertainment, you damn well better be winning trophies. It's the same thing. It's what happened with Mourinho. Mourinho, the reason why I turned against him, just partially, is because I could see we weren't going to be winning any trophies, and it wasn't entertaining football. It just wasn't. So you damn well better bring either entertaining football or trophies. Otherwise, I mean, it's going to be hard to get behind you. So Vince Russo asked, "How do I feel about Premier League matches potentially being played in the U.S.?" So, I would love it. Now, I would feel bad. Like, great example. Let's say a Manchester United home game was to be played for some reason here in Arizona. It was a regular season match against. Let's go with like a mid-table side. Let's go with like Everton. Let's say it was a match against Everton. I would be happy because I'd get to watch a Premier League match without having to leave my home state. But at the same time, I would feel bad for all my friends that are season ticket holders and that do go to every match. I would feel bad for them because you would be missing out on a home match. It's a weird combination because I would love for it to happen, but at the same time, I would hate it for my friends. So I would say I personally don't want it to happen because I would prefer to have to make the travel and go over there myself and go see the history and everything that goes into the Premier League. I would prefer to do that than to have it come here and just be played at some football stadium. That's just me personally. Where do other first team coaches go if we don't keep Ollie? So Nick, are you talking about the likes of Mike Phelan and Mike Phelan, Michael Carrick, McKenna, whoever else is a coach? Are you talking about them? Just curious. You're lucky in the U.S. with the Premier League. We only get one Saturday game televised, sometimes two, and 2 or 3 Sunday games. The rest aren't televised. Yeah, Dan, I feel bad for you guys in the U.S. You guys, in the U.S., in the U.K., you guys should be able to watch every single match. You really should, because let's face it, I know that the reasoning behind them not showing the midday games on Saturday is because you're supposed to go out and support your local club, the one that's right there. But guess what? Most people aren't going to do that. Most people are going to find a way to go get that stream. They are. They're going to go try and find a way to get that stream. Or if you're like some people that I know, I won't mention any names, but I've had people call me and I've put my phone up and put the Skype up and let them watch the match from my phone. I'm happy to do it for people because like I said, I'm not going to say who, but it's just I feel bad for you guys. You aren't able to watch every single match. You should be able to do that. Mark, I will be. My plan is right now that I'm going to be back in September of 2019. That's my plan. Now, if everything goes well with the baby and savings, because it does cost quite a bit of money to go over to get over to the UK and stay there for a while. My plan is that this next time I want to stay for a week because I want to go to a home match, I want to go to a Champions League match, and I want to go to an away match. I want to experience all three things. And then I'm trying to do that with Matthew as well. So we'll see what we could do because I would love to be able to do that. Yeah, George, we don't want to be nicking wins, do we? We're done with that. It's 3-1, 3-0, 3-1, 4-0, 4-1 wins or nothing. We don't want anything else. Finally done. Whoop! Now it's time to chill with 45 minutes to spare. Yeah, ball drops soon, guys. Ball drops soon for you guys over in the UK. My bad, Matthew Pereira. Then below was his understudy. Okay, gotcha. The Glazers are for their other team, the Bucks, playing in London. Yeah, Nick, I have seen that, and I believe that next year it might be happening. The Glazers should build a new Trafford in America. That's funny. I like that, Vince. I'm trying to find NBC streams. Yes, you were saying we must keep Mike Phelan with next coach. I would say yes, and let's keep Carrick and McKenna in the youth setup. We lost Giggsy for Jose. Yeah, so Nick, I completely agree, and I think that we need to keep Mike Phelan. It needs to happen because I believe that having somebody that understands the way that Manchester United is supposed to be makes a big difference. And then as for Carrick and McKenna, I do hope that they are kept here with Manchester United, maybe put into the youth setup, like you said, or maybe they're kept with the first team. And like I said, my hope is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be the guy going forward, and that we just have this team of everybody that's already been here at the club, and they know and they understand and they love Manchester United, and then just everything works out. I would love that to be the case. Let's see here. I watched a lovely stream on Sunday. Good old NBCSN. Yeah, exactly, George. Good old NBCSN. If MUTV find a way around the 3 p.m. kickoff, I'd get it. Yeah, no, Vince, I actually think that we aren't far off from seeing MUTV. Did Arthur's balls drop yet? He had his balls cut off, Nick. Don't tease him. Stop it. But I hope that I really do hope that Manchester United are able to start putting their games on MUTV. That's just my personal hope because I think that would be awesome for their global presence. They could also think about it this way. From Manchester United's perspective, they could charge more money than for MUTV because you're guaranteed to have every match. Why, if it's possible, why not do it? I'd go for it. You can already hear some Bellens neighbors letting off fireworks. I mean, George, we haven't had the fireworks start yet, but it's also only 4:22 here. Hopefully, I'll be in a better position next time to meet you if you come over in September. Drag Ash along too. Yeah, Paul, you and Ash had better come up. You better. Otherwise, I'm going to have to come and find you. But no, in all seriousness, so I'm planning on being there for a week next time. So there should be plenty of time to get together with people if they're wanting to get together. Because I'm not planning on going and doing any touristy things. Literally, all I want to do is I want to go watch football. That's all I want to do. I want to hang out with friends and go watch football. That's all I care about. So Jim Shady said, I don't know if you follow at Mr. Anderson 121 on Twitter, but he makes a great point, great about managers, about remanagers. We don't need to sign a name. We need to sign a style. That's why Zidane got the Real job. So Ollie needs respect. Yeah, I mean, Jim, like I said, I would gladly keep Ollie. Gladly keep him. That's true. So I hope we can kick Carrick off. He thinks 100% effort is worth a first team start, even if you're crap. For he wants Jones, Young, Smalling, Jones, Fellaini, Smalling. So I mean, Vince, and maybe that's just a little bit of like the Mourinho still with him. I don't know, but I do think that ultimately Michael Carrick will learn as he goes along that effort doesn't necessarily equal talent, and obviously Michael Carrick had great talent as a CDM, and my hope is that he'll learn from Ollie, from Mike Phelan, from these guys, and continue to develop as a manager, because I hope that he has a successful managerial career if that is what his goal is. Football, whoop, yeah. If you ever come down south for an away game, if you do, we'll have to meet up. Yeah, Dan, I mean, gladly. We need the group chat boys to come and get the game, come to a game together. Paul, Ash, Drotty, and Shane. Yeah, no, completely agree, Matthew. It's got to happen. Instead of playing games in the U.S., have kickoffs later than 8 p.m. Maybe try 9 to 10, 11 p.m. kickoffs on weekends, especially. So Vince, I'm just curious about what you mean by that. Are you talking about like if Premier League was to come here? Because if you're talking about that, so like great example in Arizona right now, we are a 7-hour time difference from the UK. So if you were to say like, hey, we're going to do a kickoff time at like 8 p.m. or something like that, that'd be crazy for you guys. Like so doing the morning kickoffs, like we could do an 8 a.m. kickoff or a 9 a.m. kickoff, and in the States, and it would easily transfer for you guys. Mark, is a group chat. I feel rejected. Yeah, but Mark, we've had this group chat going for about a year now. In fairness, just play UK games later on to suit America. Listen, the 8 p.m. games, so like the Champions League game, they start at least in Arizona at like either noon or 1, depending on daylight savings. So I'm fine with an 8 p.m. kickoff. I'm also fine with doing the standard kickoff times. I wake up early anyways to watch them. I'm almost up every single match on Saturday and Sunday. Jim, Happy New Year. I don't know if it's a New Year there for you, but we're 30 minutes out from it being New Year's in the UK. Paul, I already knew you were from Bristol. You know why too. Matthew said Vince late UK games wouldn't be good for families and people working the next day. Yeah, Matthew, that's true. I'm sure it's hard for people that go to the Champions League matches. I drink on the game day. Must be twatted by 8 p.m. Yeah, that's true, Mr. Exclusive. Well, I'm just curious. Do you guys got any more questions for me? Because I might let you go be with your families for the actual New Year, unless you want me to stay live. I've got no problem staying live with you guys all the way through midnight for you guys. We basically had like about 13 to 15 people live the entire time. So stay live, Vitrusa says. If they drink on the game day, so true, Matthew. But it's better than going to USA and completely making unwatchable for families and people going to yeah. It's only so right now in Arizona, it's just about to turn 4:30, so it's 4:28 right now. So guys, let me ask you this. I'll ask you guys a question. Do you guys have a New Year's resolution? Do you have something that is let's not even call it a New Year's resolution. Let's call it a goal for the new year. What is your goal for the new year? My goal for the new year is I want to continue to grow the YouTube channel. I mean, we've grown crazy fast. I'm really appreciative to everybody that subscribes. And you guys already know that. I want to continue to grow my real estate business, and I want to close on 6 houses in this next year. And then lastly, I want Melissa and I to continue to grow in our marriage and to have a happy and healthy baby come when they're born. That's all I care about. All I care about. End of the year awards. All right, George. You know what? I'll do end of the year awards for you. You just give me you just give me what you want and what you want the award to be, and I'll give you it in terms of a footballing sense. My goal is to take over WWE from Vince McMahon, from Vince Russo. Love it. And buy back TNA. Yes. Um, so Matthew McFadden said turn Offside Graphic into a proper company and make 250 sales. That's a great goal, Matthew. Great goal. Nigel Vesey said, I want to be able to truffle shuffle. Hey, that's a fair goal. That's fair. My goal is to get to my first NFL game. Fingers crossed. Panthers come to England. That would be awesome. Nick Archer said to dad better like me. Oh, that's sweet, Nick. Because we will likely be live all the way up till midnight for you guys. I will hit the dab for you. I will hit the dab. So I wanted to check my notifications, guys, and see if anything is crazy has happened in the news. Let's see here. Not seeing anything. That's okay. That's good. Only bit of news I'm getting over and over again is that the Cardinals have fired not only their head coach but also their band Nick. The Cardinals have fired their head coach and their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. So it's been a good day for the Cardinals. I love that we're doing the right thing and getting rid of the people that would cause issues at the club. You guys, does anybody else have any more goals for 2019? Anybody else got goals? Actually, so another goal for me. I mean, as Jamie Vardy would say, chat and shit get banned. Another goal for me would be to, with this new job that I'm starting up, I would love to grow in the position well enough that I'll be able to get a raise in the first 6 months. And then also that the bonus that I will get at the end of the year will make it so we can be able to finish off our backyard finally. Because right now our backyard is just dirt. Oh, Paul, I guarantee you they have more. They have lots of goals for 2019. Yeah, I guarantee it. Well, that's cool, Dan. Maybe you've got an excuse to come to Arizona now. Mark Curtis said to kill less people. Fair. That's a fair goal. The best goal is do what makes you happy. George, I mean, as long as it's legal, I completely agree. Do what makes you happy in 2019. As long as it's legal, go out there and go do it. Because at the end of the day, we all should be happy. You know, we have to make money. We have to do things that sometimes we don't want to do. But do the things that make you happy in 2019. I would like to get to a United game next season. I haven't been to one either, being in Florida. Nick, I mean, that'd be cool. That should be a goal for 2019. I like that goal. I hope you do. Like honestly, that's my hope for you is that for Nick Archer, I hope that you get to Old Trafford next season because it is a phenomenal experience. Vince Russo said, "Do you think Mourinho will get another job at a club in 2019?" I don't think so. I don't think that he'll get a job at a club. I think that he will get an international management job. I do think that he will wind up getting hired for Portugal to be the new manager for the international team. Now, I could see him getting another job. Great example. Let's say PSG get knocked out early. I could see PSG hiring him to come in and be the new manager. But I think PSG might be literally his last chance, his very last chance. I know, right? If online gambling makes you happy, don't go live in Arizona. Very true. Very true. But gamble responsibly. Gamble responsibly. Nick, I agree with you. So Nick said I could see Ronaldo retiring from Portugal if they hired Mourinho, which I agree with. I do think that Mourinho will take a step back from managing for a little bit. Not for a long time, but I think for a little bit he will wind up taking a break. I think he needs to fall in love with the game again. That's just me personally, though. Could see Mourinho going to Madrid next season. Honestly, I don't think that Real Madrid would be stupid enough to do that. I don't think that they would. I hope Mourinho goes to PSG so Mbappe goes running to Manchester. Vince, I would love it. I would love if Mbappe came to Manchester United. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get something on the TV back here for a second. There it is. So just curious, has anybody got any more questions? Anybody got questions? Because I'll more than happily literally answer any question you have. It could be football related. It could be life related. It could be any sport related. Whatever it is, whatever you want me to answer, I will answer it, and I will answer it honestly. College football. You know what? Let's put some college football. Why not? Nick, I would watch it, but I would need to have the sound on. And I think that might get me possibly into some trouble with Manchester United, and I don't want that. But I will definitely watch all these press conferences. I can promise you that. Just a matter of when. The Madrid board love him. I mean, Dan, that's possible, but I mean, I guess if they did, Real Madrid do have the history of just literally buying whatever the manager wants. So, I could see it happening. My missus is German and threatens to kick me out. It threatens to wear a Jurgen Klopp shirt. Should I kick her out? Yes, Paul. Yes, you should. If she is threatening to wear anything Liverpool related, I think it might be time to end it, man. I know you guys got a kid together, but you know what? Listen, life happens. And, Liverpool fans aren't trustworthy people. It's true. Just ask Doug. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. So let's be real. Listen, people obviously are going to have different teams, and as long as you guys are happy, do you, boo boo? Do you? If she's words Klopp, she's getting dropped. Let's see here. So you know how Mkhitaryan didn't work out. Do you think if he was under an attacking manager, he would have fixed United's right wing problem? That's very possible, Vince. That's very possible. I actually think that he probably was better suited to be a 10, but at the same time, if that's what he was going to do for us is play the right wing, maybe. I would be interested to see how Mkhitaryan would have done under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or whoever it's going to be. I obviously have seen what he's been doing under Emery for Arsenal, but has he really been doing that well for him? Maybe the Premier League just isn't for him. Thoughts on getting the first overall draft pick for the Cardinals? Dan, I love it. I love it because we're going to trade back. I have a feeling the Raiders are going to trade up and take that pick. I think we're going to get 2 first-round picks from them in this year's draft. I think that we'll wind up getting N'Keal Harry, which will just, yes, I love you, N'Keal Harry. And I hope that we make the right decisions. Let's see here. Favorite film of all time? Ooh, George, great question. For me, my favorite movie of all time is The Dark Knight, and it's probably the Dark Knight trilogy if you really wanted to get into it. I just think that the style of the movies, just the overall acting of them. I think that the Dark Knight trilogy is really hard to beat. There are other movies that I obviously like. I mean, I've got some. I like. If you were to ask what's my favorite comedy, I would say probably Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is kind of like a horror movie, but it's a comedy. I think that movie's hilarious. Um, my favorite horror movie of all time is probably Cannibal Holocaust, because that's also the movie that literally made it so I literally had like I've been desensitized to all horror movies at this point. Let's see, non-football related. Are you looking forward to GOT? Um, so, Nigel, I am very much so looking forward to the very last season of Game of Thrones. I can't wait till it comes on. Right now, my wife and I were going back and we're rewatching every episode in preparations for this new season. So, Game of Thrones, bring it back. I'm ready. I know it's not back until May, but Jesus, just bring it back. I'm excited for it. That's grounds for divorce. How long did it take to grow this beard? So I trimmed this back to 1 inch in May. No, it was May. It was May of last year, and you can see where it's at now. So this is June, July, August, September, October, November, December. We're at the end of December, so 7 months is what it took to get to here. Not bad. Not bad. It could be worse. She could be a Liverpool fan. No, she's a Liverpool fan if she's like Jurgen Klopp, bro. Sorry. I hate to tell you. Say, I like it. You guys are giving me your favorite movies. Let me see here. I'm just gonna make sure to open date. I'll just do this. I'm gonna make sure to open up my clock, guys, so I can make sure to watch watch it change with you guys. Yeah, George, I agree. I think that Mickey just wasn't good enough for Manchester United. Remember his run in the Europa League after he was benched for like 3 months. Yeah, Vince, I do remember Mickey's form. He did go on quite the run, but I think that's because the game suited him better in that slower pace. I just don't know if the Premier League is what suits him. That's just me personally, though. Saving Private Ryan, is Paul Gardner's favorite movie. Green Mile for Dan Jones. Wedding Crashers for George Kyle. Like all of these are phenomenal movies. I'm a huge Tarantino fan, but Memento probably my favorite film of all time, which was directed by The Dark Knight. Yeah, that's true. That's true. George Kyle said Tucker and Dale versus Evil is very funny. Yeah, it is. I'm trying to get into Game of Thrones, but the first season is so slow. Vince, the first season is slow, but let me tell you what, the very end of it really picks up. And then you talk about this jump into season 2 when the war starts. Oof, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Breaking Bad was great, Dan Jones. And Nick Archer asked if is that Ken Griffey Jr. in the bottom right pick frame. He was my favorite baseball player of all time growing up. So yes, this is Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr. is my favorite baseball player of all time. I love the way he played the game. He's one of the greatest 5-tool players to ever do it. And just I feel bad for him because I think if he hadn't gotten injured, he probably would have naturally beaten the home run record. He wouldn't have been Barry Bonds and using steroids to do it. I think that he would have beaten the overall home run record if he had been healthy throughout his career. Um, have I ever gone to any wrestling shows, Vince? Yes, Vince. I have been to many, many wrestling shows. Um, I've been to quite a few different NXT shows here in Arizona. I've been to many, many Raws and SmackDowns. Now, my hope is that I'll be able to make up enough money to be able to go to. So the Royal Rumble is here in Arizona in January. I've been out of work for about 3 months, but my job starts up on January 7th. So my hope is that I can make up enough money to be able to go to the Royal Rumble and go to the NXT takeover. And then I've also been to Lucha Underground. I've been to a couple different indie shows here in Arizona, but I love professional wrestling. I really do. It's fun stuff. Andrew had that beard in kindergarten. I'm the only one who thinks it's 2014 and 2015 were the best years. What are you talking about? Just terms of the year overall? Because I mean, 2014 would have been a good year, and 2015 would have been. Honestly, I've had good years for the last few years. You know, not a lot of craziness has happened. I mean, bad things have happened, but like overall, life is just. I've been happy with life since about 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. It would have been 2011 where I ultimately was like, you know what? I made a choice to just be happy. Like I feel like being happy for me personally is just a conscious choice, and I just like I was going through a lot of depression at one point in time, and one day I made the decision. I was like, you know what? I'm done with having a negative mentality and having a negative just outlook on life, and I made the decision to just make a conscious choice every single day to be happy. And I've basically been happy every day ever since. It's 1999, 2008 were the best years. Fair, George. Fair. Mark Curtis said Goodwill Hunting was his favorite movie. Um, music has gone down the drain this year, full of ear-rape rap songs about how rich they are. Vince, I do listen to some high-quality music. Let's be real. So I listen to a little bit of everything. I listen to rap. I listen to country. I listen to metal. I listen to rock. I think basically the only music I don't listen to is classical music. Literally the only music I don't listen to. I listen to almost everything else though. That and I guess top 40 like pop music. I don't really listen to either. I went to one house show in the UK, but hoping to go. Yeah, Dan, you guys have got NXT UK that's there now. You should go to shows if you can. That's actually so Vince. That's what was one of my top 100 tracks this year was Country Road. Andrew, I hope you get to go to Royal Rumble. Rock is supposed to be appearing. I also hope they do an Elimination Chamber instead of Fastlane. I do too, Vince. I like Elimination Chamber. It's a little bit more fun, and especially if they do it properly. I only thing I don't like about modern day wrestling is they've gotten rid of a lot of the hardcore element. I miss the hardcore element. Like, don't get me wrong, I get why you can't have chair shots to the head, like not blocking them or anything like that. I get why you can't do that, but I miss the hardcore element. I really do. Thank you, George. I really appreciate that. George said you're always very positive, which is inspiring for the rest of us. I really do appreciate that, man. Daniel said Fastlane sucks. Yes, the pay per view right before WrestleMania always sucks. It's true. Other than last year's, was actually pretty good, which was kind of surprising. When is the new season of Game of Thrones coming out? So, Nick, I believe it's out in either right at the end of April or right at the beginning of May. I can't remember exactly which because I don't have. I mean, I can look it up real quick. But I mean, I do have HBO personally. So I watch every single. We watched every single episode as it went live. So Game of Thrones season 8. Trying to find it for you guys. Sorry. Happy New Year, Paul. I hope you have a great one. Sad you couldn't be with us live all the way to New Year's, but I get that you want to go spend time with your family. So what was Stranger Point? This Monday, we humbly ask you to defend Wikipedia's independence. I don't care. Premiere April 2019. Cool. So the premiere is April of 2019. That's what it is scheduled for right now. Then again, we haven't gotten a good Mania since. That is true, Dan. That is true. We haven't gotten a good Mania in a little while. We've had good matches, but we haven't had a good WrestleMania in quite a while. Nigel Vesey, Happy New Year, everyone. Cheers for the great stream. I'll see you. Nigel, catch you in the new year, brother. I get if you guys got to take off. It's go be with your families. Like it is important. I'll be live literally right up until New Year's for you guys, and then I will be hopping offline because I'll have been live for just about 2 hours at that point. Catch you later, Nick. I hope you have a good one, man. Mark, yeah, I mean, let's being honest, man. I mean, like it is hard. Like if you're struggling with that, talk to somebody. Because part of what helped me get through it and what made me make the decision to be happy was one day I was like, you know what, I can't keep doing this on my own. And I went and talked to somebody, and it was because of the person that I went and talked to that he made me realize that I have a subconscious decision to just choose to be positive and happy. So I get how hard it can be. I get it. Trust me. So just do not think for 1 second that you should do this alone. If you're with you suffering from anxiety and depression, do not think you should do it alone. Go talk to somebody. Just go talk to someone because it makes all the difference in the world. Go talk to a professional. Vince Russo, yes, it is. It is the same month as Mania. April is that. This year's Mania does have the potential to be good. We'll see. We'll see how they wind up handling everything. Who's winning this year's Royal Rumble? Vince, that's a great question. I am gonna say that this year's winner is gonna be Finn Balor. I think it's finally time to give Finn Balor the push that he deserves. He got injured the one time, and I feel like literally after he got injured, he has never been given another chance. Give Finn Balor a chance, and he will prove to you that he is worthy of being in the top spot. He really is. That's awesome, Mark. Good for you, man. Good for you. Football Crew Show, happy to have you here, man. Happy New Year's. We're literally gonna be live right up until New Year's with you guys for in the UK. So because New Year's is 7 hours away for me. 7 hours and 8 minutes, I should say. So, but happy New Year's to you guys. I'm happy to have everybody here with me. Literally, if you guys got any questions, now's the time to get them in because when we hit the countdown, we will count down from about like 10 seconds. Dan, there's no way it's going to be John Cena. No way that it'll be John Cena. Vince Russo's winning it this year. Yes, I believe it. I believe it. I mean, Dan, are they at least good fireworks? So Vince Russo said it could be Finn, Drew, Seth, Rock, Dean, maybe even EC3 if Vince wants to shock the world. I honestly think that Finn would be a hell of a shock. I could even see it being somebody really surprising. Like maybe Kenny Omega comes over to the WWE and wins it. I could see that happening. Um, Surprise entrant that I think not a lot of people think about, Chris Jericho. Somebody I could see winning it. But I'm gonna make the bold prediction, say it's gonna be Finn Balor. Now he's likely not gonna win it, but we will see. We will see. Mark, great. I honestly love you too, brother, and just I hope you do have a great 2019, especially if you're heading out, man. Go have fun with your family. Dan, yes, I am a bit of a gamer. I'm actually like when I finish up here, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna play Assassin's Creed Odyssey for a little bit more I until I gotta leave for our party. Want to write shipping labels for me, Matthew? I don't think I can help you with that, bro. I don't think I'm able to help. I'm sorry. Um, sorry about that. There was a discount sale on fireworks. They're all right, but they won't be anywhere near as good as the display in London. Yeah, I can believe that. Don't forget Finn's demon form is still unbeaten in WWE. Yeah, no, Vince. That's something that surprises me is that they have not used the demon character as much as I thought that they would. Because I remember when he first came into the WWE, man, they gave that demon character the push that it needed. They literally gave him that entire just promo about it. I still go back and watch it, and it gives me goosebumps where he talked about the demon and what the demon represents. And I'm surprised they have not pulled that out of the bag more. They've always been they've only planted seeds for Ballard in case they want to push him. That is true, Vince. That is true. 5 minutes left, guys. 5 minutes left. And Triple H does definitely adore Finn Balor. We know that. We do know that. I'm honestly surprised that Finn and Bayley have not been at the very top of the WWE since coming up. I mean, with how much we know that Triple H loved them, I really am surprised. But there is a guy that I am in love with. I mean, not that it's any surprise, really. But there's a guy I'm in love with down in NXT, and that would be Aleister Black. That's the one guy I truly hope they don't ruin when he comes up to the WWE, because I think that he could be that badass that basically he could be a better version of Goldberg. Just come in and just absolutely beat the crap out of people, because Goldberg had zero wrestling talent. Just he was able to, basically be a football player in the ring. But I honestly think that bringing in Aleister Black and letting him do what he's going to do would be absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Vince Russo, your birthday's on New Year's Day? That's awesome, man. Cool past few Assassin's Creed haven't been good, in my opinion. It's favorite game of all time. Favorite game of all time is The Last of Us, Stan. I know it's a PlayStation exclusive, but if you have not played The Last of Us, you need to. It's a phenomenal game. But try out Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's been really good so far. And I also like that it's based in Greece, and it's based on like the Spartan culture. It's been really cool so far. Loved Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Golden. Oh yeah, GoldenEye on N64, absolute classic. Pokemon Fire Red. Aleister Black is awesome, but I remember the hype around Bray Wyatt, but they haven't lived up. That's true. That's true. Come on now. I'm trying to see if I can't view as analog. View as digital. There we go. So now I've got the timer up on the top right. Yeah, so Malo, we're talking a little bit of WWE right now. Yeah, I personally think that Bray Wyatt was criminally misused. He is a good promo, but at the same time, his wrestling talent isn't great. But they really haven't done much with his character, which has been disappointing. EC3 or Lars Sullivan, who's going to get the bigger push? I hope it's Lars Sullivan. I think that Lars Sullivan could be a great big man. He's a decent promo, unlike EC3. And I think that EC3 had his chances with WWE, and I don't think the WWE should have ever brought him back. That's my personal opinion. But I really hope that it's Lars Sullivan that gets the big push. Can we have a WWE stream one day? Maybe for WrestleMania, Dan. That might be a good one. Maybe we'll do a WrestleMania stream. We'll just all watch it together, and we'll be live. But guys, we're just about 30 seconds away. We're almost 30 seconds away from New Year's in the UK. Let's see here. I haven't played Odyssey, but want to play Origins. I heard Origins was good as well. You said I heard Origins was decent. I should say. No. It wasn't Origins. I apologize. All right, guys. We're almost 10 seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, folks. Happy New Year to all my friends over in the UK. I hope that you guys have a phenomenal rest of your night. And I hope that you guys just all have a great 2019. I got to hit the dab for you. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Bah! Hit that dab. And bah! Hit that dab. And bah! Hit that dab. We hit the dab all over the place, people. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year. You know what? Let's get Arthur in here. Arthur! Arthur! Come say hi. Hi. Yeah, Happy New Year. Say Happy New Year to the people. Say Happy New Year. Arthur, speak. 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 Arthur, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Speak. Speak. No, come here. Come here. Come here. Sit. Speak. Speak. Good boy. There you guys go. You guys got a little bit of Arthur. You guys got a little bit of him. But love you guys. Genuinely, I love you guys. I'll talk a little bit more WWE with you for just a second. But genuinely, Happy New Year's to all my friends in the UK. I can feel like I really feel like 2019 is gonna be a great year. I really, really think so. But I'll hit one more dab for you. Hit one more. Bah! Bah, bah, bah! I hit it. I hit it for you guys. Hit it hard. Hit it good. But so my hope is that I actually really hope that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa also don't get ruined when they come up to the WWE from NXT, because I think that they are both phenomenal characters. I think that they could potentially be guys that you could, have a crazy feud with. So, but guys, let's go ahead and let's wrap it up there. We'll wrap it up there. We've been live for almost 2 hours together. Imagine being Japanese, living in America, streaming to UK viewers 3 times to celebrate a new year. That would be crazy, Vince. Eric Bailly's live, apparently. Oh, that's awesome. Is he live on Is he live on Insta? Retweeting. All right, guys, but listen, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap it up there. I'll go watch Eric Bailly live on the Insta. And but guys, I genuinely thank you for joining me. We've been live for almost 2 hours, and we've had quite a few people live with us almost the entire time. We'll have to do more WWE chats apparently, because apparently we've got quite a few WWE fans. So I love talking WWE. We'll see what we could do for you guys in terms of content. We'll have to think about something. But I'm gonna hit one more dab for you. Hit one more dab. Hit. Hit it. Hit the dab. But guys, by the way, Malo, completely agree. I'm super scared for Ricochet too. Ricochet is somebody I could see Vince almost treating like Neville. I hope that's not the case. But guys, just genuinely thank you for being live with me. Happy New Year again to all my friends over in the UK. Still 7 hours until until the UK until Arizona New Year's. And just genuinely, I love you guys. You guys have made 2018 one of my best years yet, and I can't wait to see where 2019 is going to take us. Just keep doing you guys, just genuinely, because I mean, you guys have helped me build one of the best communities in terms of fans that we all just chat together, and this has been what my goal is. I don't care if we just have 10 people live just talking about whatever's going on in life. That's perfectly fine with me. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your New Year's Eve or New Year's New Year at this point, New Year's Day at this point. And just genuinely, I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. And I hope that you guys have a great night, a great day, wherever you're at and whatever you're doing. Keep doing you, because genuinely, you are awesome. God bless you guys. And I can't wait to see what 2019 holds. Have a great rest of your night, folks.